Hey, this is a quick review on how to factor a quadratic trinomial with a lead coefficient that is not a 1. Okay, we're going to use this as our example, the 10x squared plus 18x minus 4. Okay, the very first step that you would want to do here, as soon as you note that your lead coefficient is not a 1, is you're going to draw 4 blank lines. You're going to place an addition symbol in between each blank. And then you're going to take the first term, and you're going to put that on the first blank. And you're going to take your last term here, and you're going to place that on the last blank. The objective is to fill in which numbers go on these middle two blanks. And to figure out what goes on those blanks, you're going to make an X chart. At the top of the X chart, you're going to put A times C, and in the bottom of the X chart, you'll put B. Okay? The A is describing the 10, the B, in this example, is the 18, and the C is negative 4. So as you fill in your X chart here, the top part of the X chart would be negative 40, and the bottom part of the X chart, the B, would be an 18. Okay, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to find two numbers that are going to multiply to be negative 40, but they're going to add to be 18. You can try to think of some different combinations here that would work, the things that are going to multiply to be 40. One option is 2 and 20. And if we play with the signs on these, if we make the 20 positive and the 2 negative, that would be two numbers that multiply to be negative 40, but they add to be 18. So you're going to take those two numbers, doesn't matter the order that you place these on the blanks, but when you do place them on the blank, you need to make sure that you remember to put an X next to each one. Okay, now that all 4 blanks are filled in, the next step is to group in parentheses the first two terms, and then to group the last two terms. It's very, very important that you leave this addition symbol in between the parentheses. Okay, what you're going to do now is you're going to look at this, the first set of parentheses, and you're going to factor out a GCF in that first set of parentheses. And in this example, both of those terms contain a 10x. Okay, so pulling a 10x out leaves behind an x plus 2. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the second set of parentheses. You want to pull out any GCF, and the objective here would be once you pull out your GCF, you're hoping what you leave behind matches the quantity that you have over here. Okay, so I'm going to factor out a negative 2, and that's going to leave behind a positive x plus 2. Okay, so now as I look at these terms, this is the first factor, and here is the, this is the first term, and over here is the second term. What those two terms have in common is they both have the quantity x plus 2. So now I'm going to factor an x plus 2 out in front. That means I'm taking it out of this term. I'm also taking it out of that term. And so that leaves behind a 10x and a minus 2. Okay, 10x minus 2. And the only thing you would want to do at the end of this problem, I guess this could have been done all the way at the very beginning of this problem, is technically there was a GCF at the beginning. There was a 2 that could have been factored out of the 10, the 18, and the 4. To factor something completely, each of your factors should not contain GCFs. And if you look at this second group here, the 10x and the minus 2, you can technically pull a 2 out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And the 2 that I pull out, I'm just going to set it all the way in front here. So if I factor a 2 out of the second group here, that leaves behind a 5x minus 1. Okay? And this right here would be the final answer, completely factored. Once again, that's just review on how to factor by grouping when you have a quadratic trinomial and the lead coefficient is not a 1.